This is the Enforcer Haptic Feedback Rifle and Pistol accessory from DeadEyeVR, which might just be one of the coolest ways to immerse yourself in biohaptic VR shooters. The Gunstock is put together with 3D printed parts and has a cool carbon fiber look to it, which makes the Gunstock look very sleek and for the most part is very sturdy, and might I add, definitely crafted beautifully. The main feature of this gun is the haptic feedback modes, which allows you to do single shot, 3-round bursts, and even full auto. The modes can also be turned by dial for more immersion. The controller cups are made to fit your Quest 3 or 3S controller snugly and are held in place by a fairly powerful magnet, which makes sure your controllers are not going to come flying off in the heat of battle. The controllers do slide in fairly easy, but you will have to take off any type of accessories you have, such as controller grips, as they just won't fit into the cups at all. But I do like how there is holes in the actual plastic that allow for the sensors to be read, no problem. The haptic side fits just as easy, and you can see how the haptics are activated as the trigger is pulled at the same time your controller is pressed. The haptic side also comes with a pretty comfortable grip that wraps around your wrist for added support. I will say that this haptic motor is actually a bit heavy, and I can see why they had to add the strap, but it's definitely a nice touch. Here's a bit more in-depth look at the tuning dial and the modes that you can adjust to your liking. What I really liked about the handle on this haptic side is that the battery is hidden within a compartment that is locked by a mechanism so all things don't fall out. The battery is a lithium battery that is 11.1 volts and has about 800 milliamp hours. It also does come in handy with a charger that is a bit cheap feeling but definitely does the job. I will say that putting all this stuff together was kind of a pain in the butt. The box did come with a guide that really showed you how to put it all together and a list of all the parts. I really couldn't tell for some of the parts on the directions what I was supposed to be doing, so I did refer to the video that's on the manufacturer's website. The installation video definitely made things so much easier, and I was able to follow step by step much easier than having to refer back to the card that came in the packaging. But once it was all together, things definitely were looking up. I will say that during the installation process, one of the pieces did break, and it's this part here I'm showing in the video, but the manufacturer was easily able to get a hold of and definitely sent me a new piece immediately. The new piece is definitely a stronger 3D plastic printed piece and works so much better. So now that everything's together, let's take a look at how this gun performs. Okay, so here we are in Contractors, and I must say that this thing is pretty dang heavy. I won't lie on that. We do have to go through quite a bit of configuration to really get the rifle to feel the way it wants to feel with your gun of choice, which is kind of, you know, it's not a problem, but every time you choose a gun stock, you're going to have to go through every single one of your guns in order to really, you know, configure that the way you need to. One of the other things here is this release to grab your gun and stuff just feels a little awkward. Like this release just constantly, I feel like, you know, it's a good thing to have on your stock so it like locks in, but boy, when you're trying to like grab anything else, or if you gotta quickly like grab a grenade or something like that, it just feels very, very awkward. And because of the heaviness of how heavy this little haptic system is, boy, you got to be careful in your room, you know, with trying to use things like that. I mean, it's just super heavy. Although it definitely does work. I definitely like the single shot on it. That's usually how I have most of my rifles set up anyways. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that, and I'll show you kind of how like reloading goes and things like that of the such. But as far as anything else, you definitely feel like you have more stability on it. You definitely have some immersion with the actual haptics. The haptic could tend to feel a little loud, especially if you're recording and things like that. But you got to understand that you are pretty much using your left hand for everything on this, or your right hand, depending on how you set it up here. So if you're really not used to that, really the downfall that I'm seeing is having the quick release sometimes just isn't quick enough. I guess you could probably stick something in there to kind of like have it so it's just open all the time. But yeah, like I said, if you gotta quickly grab, you know, your grenades or anything of that nature, it feels a little awkward at first until you get used to it. There's no doubt about that. So let's go ahead and we'll go to the shooting range real fast here. We'll check that out, and then we'll check out the game in action here. We'll go ahead and we will do rifle training. We'll click to start that. It looks like we got it right there. So I will say it definitely feels like you're a bit more accurate, no doubt about it. You have to really pay attention and understand that you're going to have to hold it with your right hand constantly. Otherwise, it really just does not feel immersive. It's like when you let go of it, every time you have to try to line it up, and eventually that comes with time. You'll eventually understand that, you know, where your magnets exactly are and things of the like, but it does feel awkward and heavy, no doubt about that. So let's see, we'll try this one more time here so you can kind of see what's going on. You can see here, now we got to grab the rifle, put it back on there. Put it back on single shot here. Not sure if you can hear the actual haptics on there, but it definitely sounds fairly loud in the headset. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and put that bad boy in full auto. That way we can actually have it on full auto here on the guns. And you can see what that actually feels like. Now, don't feel like it's actually allowing me to go in there. And there we go. Sometimes that's one of the downfalls that I've seen, is you actually have to reset with the power button in order for the actual like rate of fire to take effect. I don't know, it's kind of odd. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is with that, but nonetheless, you do have to reset it sometimes, and it is definitely awkward. Alright, so far, using this Gunstock just feels like it's heavy. It's definitely really heavy and kind of almost overbearing, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and see if we can get into just a single player here, and we'll see how this actually works against in a mission, basically, and we'll see how that actually rides out. Go ahead, we'll rack it back, make sure we're good to go with that, put our guns back in, and let's see, we do have it on single fire now. Go ahead and see what kind of accuracy we can get with shooting. Ooh, he's right there. Okay. Definitely feel like I'm more accurate from at a distance, no doubt about that. Like I said, I don't play shooters 24/7 or anything like that, but I do know the premise of them. Is he behind me now? There we go, caught him in the leg. Alright, we got him, busted the headshot, so that's great. Make sure we get ammo here. Oh. Very nice, very nice. Go ahead and we'll dump the magazine here. Got 10. Go, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, it just feels very, very over cumbersome. Like that haptics, even with the strap, is feeling really heavy on my right hand, and it definitely does its job, and it does feel immersive, but it has just got some serious weight on it. And then sometimes, another thing is when you run out of ammo, the haptic still goes, so that feels really awkward sometimes. I wish it was able to, like, connect with the game somehow, some way, because otherwise, it's really, really feeling like you're shooting, but you're not. Oh boy, we're out again. Gotta drop that magazine. Up. Yeah, it just feels when you're in a quick, tight situation, this thing is just really hard to operate. No doubt about it. All right, so I guess you kind of see what's going on here and what I mean. It just feels very cumbersome, but it is nice. It does seem to improve your accuracy. There's no doubt about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. We're going to go into the menu, and we're going to do a pistol-only run. And that's where I think this gun stock might actually shine, is just with the actual haptic part of it, and not the full gun stock itself. So let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so here we are with the actual sidearm here, and I tell you, that weight off of your shoulders definitely feels a lot better, and I feel like we can actually kind of work with this gun a lot more than I thought we were going to be able to. I have the haptics set up to single shot, which is cool, and it definitely feels a lot better just using that haptics. Now, it does feel kind of awkward because you can't marry up really like you want to, but nonetheless, it does work. Yeah, I think where this haptics gun is at, or this whole gun stock period is worth it, is definitely going to be the sidearm here. It feels way better just playing by itself. You're going to probably be able to play games like Aim Assault that just came out. There's also other games like, oh gosh, there's a Retro Shooter that just came out on the Quest standalone, so that'll work pretty good. You know, games like that will probably feel really, really great in the headset. But for some reason, to me, gun stocks just do not work with standalone VR like they should. Each one has its drawbacks in some way, shape, or form. You know, this gun stock was great because the magnets are very, very, you know, tight. They definitely are strong enough where you can feel it and they can click in. It does take some time to get used to, but the big drawback is just the weight. It almost feels like it's fatiguing my hand the whole entire time, and it does hurt a little bit. There's no doubt about it. But nonetheless, you know, the gun stock is really, really cool. The haptics make it feel very immersive. And if you're a pistol-only type guy or gal, or are playing like those retro arcade games, playing this with just the pistol is probably the way to go. You know, the gun stock probably has some work it needs to work on, but overall, you know, the price is a little up there for what it is. If you're into immersion and you really want to have like the haptic feedback, and if you have like the biohaptic vest and stuff like that, this is great to add to it. But if you're a casual player, this probably isn't gonna be the way you want to go. No, I don't like ragging products. I think they all do have their strengths and weaknesses, but for the most part, you know, this one is probably really good just for the haptics on this. And like I said, this haptic motor on it is very, very heavy in my personal opinion. But check out all the links down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the gun stock for yourself if you want to. You know, my opinion is my own. You might have to make your own decision based on what you're seeing here or other videos. So make sure you do your research. And we'll see you in the next video.